So in this lesson we're going to continue to look at arrays, but in particular inserts, index and sorting. So we'll start with inserting data into our arrays. So last lesson we looked at appending, which was adding data onto the end of an array, but this time I want to be able to insert some data at a point which I say I want it to be. So we're going to stick with our array of colours, which has red, green and blue, and I'm just simply going to ask the user to enter a new colour to insert into the list, into their variable new colour. So for that to work, what we want to do is simply use our array label, so colours dot insert, and then we choose our position point, so we choose our index. So I'm going to choose 1, and at that point we then use our variable new colour, and then we'd want to print our array just to make sure that works. So we have red, green and blue in 0, 1 and 2. We're asking the user to insert a new colour, and then we're going to insert that into index position 1. So it should appear in between red and green. So let's run that to test it. So if I choose purple and press enter, there we see we get red, purple, green and blue. So it's inserted directly into the index position 1. Of course, we could make that more complicated and actually ask the user for the index position as well. So if I decided to have a variable called position, and we wanted int input what index position do you want to insert to, we could then actually use what the user gives us in here, and that would also work. So let's run that and see what happens. So in this case I will choose purple again. It's asking me what index position, so I'm actually going to choose 2, so it should end up in between green and blue. Press enter, you get red, green, purple, blue. So we've actually then chosen what index position to insert it to. So it's up to you how you'd want to do it. You can ask the user where they want it to be, or you could do that as the software developer and choose that as a default. Sometimes you might just want to find out what the index is from an object chosen by the user. So in this case, we can actually use an inbuilt function which returns back an index chosen by the user. So I'm just going to have a new variable called color from user, because the user is going to choose which color they want from the array, and we'll do that as an input. So string input, enter a name from the array above. So at that point we would have printed out our array of colors. The user will choose one and it will be stored inside of color from user variable, and we'll use our position variable again. So position equals colors, our array name, dot index, and again you'll see it changes color. And then we just use our variable from above, so color from user. What's going to happen there is that whatever color they've entered, so if I was to enter blue, blue would be stored inside this variable color from user, and then the index would check where color from user blue is in the array. So it would then end up storing 0, 1, 2 into the position variable. And we can prove that by printing the color, and then our variable color from user is found at position, and then we can just use our position variable. So now if I run that, should hopefully start running soon. Stop it run again. There we go. So it's given us our array objects, so red, green, blue, purple and orange. And now it's asking me to enter a name from the array above. So it's asking for a color. So in this case, I will just choose purple, press enter. The color purple is found at position 3. We can double check 0, 1, 2, 3. So purple is indeed at position 3. So this is showing you how you can actually get a user to enter in a item from the array and actually use the index inbuilt function to then return back what position that is. Quite useful if you need to either remove something which the user wants, like we looked at delete last lesson, or possibly move it to a different point in your array. There are quite a few reasons you might want to be able to do that. So the last thing we're going to look at in this lesson is sorting, and you can sort A to Z, Z to A, and it's really, really easy. So we've got our array of colours. We would print our colours as they are originally, and then we just want to sort it. So it's really, really simple. So our array colours dot sort, open brackets, and then we would just print colours again after that. So we should end up having our colours printed out as their original sorted value, just unsorted, and then once they've been sorted we'd print it again and it would show us the correct sorted way. And there we go. So there's the original red, green, blue, purple, orange, and then we have blue, green, orange, purple and red. We can go the other way, so we can go from Z to A. So in this case you would just do colors.sort, but this time we just say reverse equals true. Not something you need to know off the top of your head. You can always come back and look at that. But we can then just prove again that that works by printing our colors array. So when I run that now, you can see the original was red, green, blue, purple, orange. The original sorted in the correct way, A to Z, blue, green, orange, purple, red. And then finally we've gone the other way, red, purple, orange, green and blue. So again, that's usually quite useful if you've got a list of names which you need to put in alphabetical order. If you've got a list of numbers you need to put in alphabetical order, really, really quick and easy. Rather than having to do manual indexing and inserting and deleting, you can just use sort or reverse true to go the other way. And that's it for this lesson. Hopefully all of those useful tips should be able to get you through the task.